Good day, everyone. My name is LAILA WITRA BINTI HUSNI, matrix number A194278. Today, I'll be discussing with my group mates a topic that I believe affects many of us, especially in our busy work or academic routines, which is the health challenge associated with long periods of sitting and poor eating habits, and how these issues impact both our productivity and well-being. After watching the video, I truly believe that the ideas presented are both practical and crucial in addressing these common problems that many people overlook. As we all know, sitting for extended periods of time has become the norm in office, classrooms, and even in group project settings. Many of us can relate to the feeling of stiff backs, strained eyes, and general fatigue well before the end of the day. We might feel like we're working hard, but the truth is that this sedentary behavior is slowly harming our health. And this is not just a minor issue, it's a global one. The World Health Organization has warned us that sitting for prolonged periods can increase the risk of serious health conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and chronic back pain. In fact, it is estimated that around 4 to 5 million deaths could be prevented each year if people were more active. For students and young professionals, this pattern of sitting without movement also leads to weaker concentration, slower task completion, and a higher chance of burnout if not addressed. Watching the video, I agree completely with the proposed solution to this challenge, which is introducing micro movement into our daily routines. The idea of taking a short 5-minute break every hour to stretch and walk is such a simple yet powerful intervention. This is something that I think everyone, including ourselves as students and professionals, can easily implement. By setting a clear schedule for these breaks, for example, working for 55 minutes followed by movement, we can reduce the risk of back pain, lower our stress levels, and boost our overall energy throughout the day. It's incredible how a small action like stretching the neck, shoulders, and back can have such a big impact on both our physical and mental health. It's also something that doesn't require any special equipment or investment, just a shared reminder and a commitment to following through. One of the
Yeah,
key takeaways from the video.
for uh, this is Ideal's point, right? So I would I would I would like to jump in to say that while I do agree that Ideal's point is very worth what is very valid. Um, I don't completely agree with what he wants to do because I think there is like a balance between uh a balancing act between um what he wants to do and what is work because essentially uh if you guys ever are in the flow state of working, uh how long does it take for you guys to go back into that flow state, right? Because it's really hard to get into that flow state, but then once you go into that flow state, it's kind of hard to get back into it. So if you have something like a 50-minute session of working and then 5-minute session of break, that will kind of just stop the flow state that you have. So I think instead what we should do is gi- is give the 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 people who are working a way to identify when they are like tired enough to take a break from themselves. So like they they have enough they have the ability to detect when their body needs a break, and then they just take a break then instead of breaking every 5 minutes because it will just interrupt your work, right? Am I wrong here?
Mm. Yeah, I agree with Shukur because it's like if like you said, Shukur, the flow work. If we interrupt the flow work when we in deep concentration to do the work that has the for the company, it can break our concentration. So, but for me, it's a good thing if the company or the people that implement this idea to have some like the general schedule, like all the people in the workplace can agree with. If they agree in that time, you can do break time. But uh, it's not compulsory to do. From the video, it said it need to be done. To the time, the break time need to be done. But for me, it's not compulsory to have the break. But it's it's it depends on the people if they want to do the break or not. Yeah, it's from me. It's all from me.
I would like to jump in. Based on what you said, I agree as well, because how we focus and how we rest is depend on ourselves, because it is subjective how we define it. So we know ourselves, like how long we can focus, and when it's limit, we need rest. So it depends on ourselves to decide whether what time we need to what time, how long we can focus, and then what time or how long you need rest required. So that is what I've been is based on my experience as well. So
Yeah.
So
Right.
I hear that Shuko already point out Ideal's topic. Next, let's look at Abdullah's suggestion from the video. He suggests that hydration reminders and stretch breaks need to be added into the scheduled work. So the argument here is the contrary to my concerns about Ideal's plan. I am fully in favor of Abdullah's approach. The reason is for about friction. A hydration reminder is a low friction intervention. It doesn't require you to leave your desk or stop your thought process entirely. You reach for a bottle, take a sip, and keep going. It sounds minor, but the danger of dehydration on a job site, especially when you are focused, is real. It leads to headache, reduced cognitive function, and irritability. A stretch break doesn't have to be a yoga session. It can be as simple as reaching for the ceiling or rolling your shoulder while reading an email. Abdullah is proposing a routine rather than a disruption. I think this is the most implementable idea we have. It's a gentle nudge. We could even look into apps or desktop widgets that provide these subtle cues. It's about building a help-first habit that doesn't feel like a chore, or a distraction. Anybody agree with that point?
Well, yeah, obviously, drinking water is really important, right? So I completely
Yeah.
agree. Contrary to the previous point, which is interrupting our work, taking a water break isn't that hard to do. You can do it, right? I'm doing it right now, and
Yeah.
the stretching part, yeah, I agree completely as well. There's really no reason you don't need to like do high intensity stretching, like go into the ground just to
Mm.
stretch. You can just stretch normally. Like stretching is really easy, and so it doesn't even interrupt any of the work. So I think it's completely fine. How about you, Laila?
Yeah, I agree. I believe the ideas presented in the video are not only reasonable but absolutely necessary in today's fast-paced, often stressful work and study environments. How about Imran's opinion?
I will agree as well, because it's a common, actually. If you're aware that once you feel dehydrated, you need drinking water. Same as goes to when we do either going to class or either going to work. Some of us bring our own water bottle, right? So it's a common thing, actually. It's a common thing, actually, to bring to stay aware of our hydration level. And then if implementing also, then it's kind of the same thing what we doing, or doing the 50-minute work and the 20 minutes. So drinking water is just split second rest, and then we can continue our work as well. So I think that's my thought about this point.
So for me, the entire idea of drinking water and stretching is it's a good idea. It's a good macro habit we can implement in the company or in the workplace. But if we think like this, if we have too many of micro habit to to push people to have that kind of habit, because in the video Abdullah have said that other workers can also suggest micro habit that can help workers to build a more positive environment. But if the suggestion is too many of micro habit to be implemented in the company, in the workplace, it's also not a good idea for me. So we need to have a carefully pick which one micro habit that we want to implement, like the drinking water and also the stretching that all of you have mentioned before. So yeah, for me it's completely a good idea, and also just need a little bit of tweak there, here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Abdullah's point is the most beneficial one for all the workers to try during their work life. But in the video, I have noticed that some of the points that being stated is more structural, such as Wafi proposal, that he wants to see standing desks and a general change in routine to get people moving more. Wafi mentioned something that really hit home: the declining physical health of the average worker. He used the example of people struggling with basic sit-up. This isn't just a personal health issue, it's a workplace safety issue. An unfit body is more prone to injury on the job site. Now, I think some of this might be redundant if we do Abdullah stretches and some point from Shafi'i, which is lunch breaks properly. However, I agree with the standing desk aspect. Giving people the option to change their posture is key. You know that nowadays many people that have their office work during 9 to 5 p.m. More do the sitting and have a very bad back posture right now. So Wafi suggested this, making working out part of the work. While that sounds extreme, maybe we look at active meetings, working meetings for one-on-ones, for example. We need to stop seeing movement and work as two separate things. If we can integrate them, as Wafi suggests, we solve the inactivity problem without needing the scheduled 5-minute breaks every hour. What you guys think about this point from Wafi?
I think the point from Wafi, it's good in general sense if we working to do our things, but you know it's not all workplace is sitting like sitting like there's a construction space that we always use our body to move around. So if we strictly focus on office, so it's a good idea to have this kind of point. But for me, for specifically for the working meeting, it's a great tool. But we need to have a map so that they know which one we need to do the working meeting, or which one we need to sit down and make a good decision. Because look at this. If we are brainstorming idea, we can work, so we can know more about our environment, we can think more creatively. But if we want to make some important decision that maybe can impact our other workers or the company itself, so it's I think it's good to sit down and discuss more deeply to others people. What about you all? What's your view about this thing?
Well, the thing is, right, I the actually the working out part of the Wafi's point, well, working out, but it's essentially he just wants us to um do basically move more, because a lot of people are not even able um to do sit-ups anymore. Even personally, even my mom can't do it anymore because she's been sitting throughout her work so many times throughout her life, and therefore her knees are giving out. And I I think there is definitely a talk a common ground we can reach here, um because there needs to be a change, because not being able to do anything in your own body is really bad. The meeting was got interrupted because of the line, but let's just continue
It's okay.
forward with the discussion. Um, so there needs to be a balance, because uh, while I do agree there are some meetings where you should sit down and talk, th- there is definitely a way you can balance it, you know. Maybe just, and in fact, maybe some meetings are actually beneficial if you go around and talk to each other, because it's it's more, you get to explain yourself better, because you can go over
Yeah.
there if someone doesn't understand. You can go over there if
Mm.
someone has a point that they want to say but can't doesn't really have the voice to do that. So I think
Yeah.
walking around in meeting can work just fine. But yeah, there's definitely
Mm.
needs some tweaking in this point. Yeah.
Mm.
May I jump in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Based on Wafi's point, I think from my perspective, it's more to working culture of the company. I will give a short experience of my internship lah as well. So
Yeah.
back to my internships, and then there's a routine on my company that called morning exercise. So every day, every working day on the morning, the worker must do the exercise before they start to work. So let's say for every day I went to work at 7:30. I arrive at around 7:40. 7:50 sharp. There's an announcement that needs tells the workers to ready to do the morning exercise. So
That's a
that
good.
I think that's the one of the best initiative that the company I used to internship do the best initiative as far as I could get, because it helps me move more. They call it taisho, morning exercise. They use work exercise as what do most of the Japanese work culture do. So I think based on my internship experience, I think that's the best implementation to do if the company wants to implement this.
Yeah.
That is a very good. That is a very good
Mm.
initiative. Yes.
Very good.
Laila, how about you?
Mm.
Mm.
What I really appreciate about this proposal is its simplicity. It doesn't require any major change to our work environment or expensive tools. It's just a shift in mindset and behavior. Setting a common lunch window, encouraging people to eat in designated areas away from their desk, and ensuring that everyone respects their lunch breaks can lead to significant improvements in both individual health and overall team productivity. I believe this will foster a more balanced, well-rounded approach to work where health is prioritized alongside performance. That's my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess next one we can do is Shafi, Shafi and Nukman's point is pretty much the same. So why not we just combine them together? Essentially, Nukman and Shafi's point is well, Shafi's is, if the time is lunch break, and Nukman's point is, if the if the job is over, you should not be doing any more work. Which, both of these points I agree completely, because it's already hard enough that we have to work pretty much the entire day. We should have the rights as workers to completely ignore our work until it is time to actually do our work the next day or the next time we are going to work. Because this work culture is well, not bad per se, um but it is really taking away from time from family, time for rest, time for a lot of different activities that we could have gotten if we have just ignored the work that people expect us to do immediately. You know what I mean? So yeah, I completely agree with both of these points. So I have no complaint whatsoever. And in fact, I will even add to Nukman's point, which is he said 8 p.m. No one should expect you to do work. I say immediately after work, as soon as it reaches 1 minute, you should not need to reply to any messages after that. So uh but that's just my opinion. So you guys can take it away. If you what's your opinion?
Yeah, I believe Numan point is the most important thing because nowadays many people or many workers out there just have the mindset to after they return home from work, they still got the WhatsApp message from their boss or manager and still their brain goes right back into work mode and their body never truly rests and it is will damage their health because the body needs some rest after work. And the strain on the job site isn't just physical. Sometimes the fact that the job site follows us home in our pockets that will damage our mental health and it will make us goes into something more more dangerous like burnout or something bad for our life. And as you can see, Nukman already mentioned that if we get a WhatsApp message at 8 p.m., we should never reply to it and just start the work life the next day and start doing our work the next day. And uh, we need to set a standard that no one, regardless of their position, is expected to respond to messages after work hours. Nothing about work should invade a person's personal life. If it's an absolute emergency, there should be a specific protocol, like email us or something that mention it is emergency and need us to reply to the message ASAP. But for 99% of tasks, it can wait until next morning. If we don't set these hard rules, the well-being at work program is just lip service. True well-being starts with respecting an employee's time when they are not at work. This is the foundation of preventing burnout. Anyone agrees with this point?
Agreed completely.
Yeah, I agree because for Nokman's point, I think we can see clearly because the one that tries too hard to implement this proposal is our generation, right? We are Gen Z, right? Because so our Gen Z is the one that try to press the company to implement 8 to 5 work culture without interrupting the workers after the working hours because based on what if we look at our parents, their generations, their mindset is more to work hard to earn something. So and then in our generation, we more focused to work and having our life as well. So I think that's the gap between the previous generation and our generation to implement the current work culture. So I think the company themselves should have the initiative and also restructure their policy to enf- to what should I say to make to take care of their workers. That's why I try to say that.
For me, I agree with the point from Nukman and all of you point, but um we need also to see that not all workers work in like structural company that have working hours nine to five, nine to six. There's also like a doctor and also the IT support that maybe need like operational risk. They need to have uh on call work. So for me, yeah, I agree. We can implement it on companies that have the structure, the office hour. But for some sector, for some industry, we can fully implement this, but we can adjust it for more flexible way. So um I think it's a good idea, but yeah, we can also tweak a little bit so that all the industry can be implemented this idea. And also, for Shafi idea, I think for me this is the I fully aboard with this point, because we need some space. We need some space to have our own time to rest without thinking about our own work. Not only outside of working hour, but if we inside working hour, if our rest is not completely away from the work we have, we cannot have the rest that we need. Because of this, we can have some stress, because the break in the office hour is not completely for rest, but and also it also have the work that we need to done. So to have a compulsory break time in the company, it's very important for me. So it's not just about the food, but it's about the psychology detachment. If we eat in our desk, we need some physical boundary, so that the idea to work and also to eat is a different thing. So we need to have this kind of space, so it's safe to people to have to rest in the specific time in the working hour, and also a work in the working hour. Yes.
So for Shafi'i point, I think company already take a huge portion of our time and energy. The least we can do is ensure that the time allocated for food and rest is respected. We actually should implement a zero work talk policy during lunch. No meeting scheduled between 1 and 2 p.m. No quick question at break room table. If we want a healthy workforce, we have to let them actually eat and recover. Don't disturb the lunch hour time with something about work or something to discuss about what will goes on in the evening or the next morning or anything. Just let the workers rest, have their lunch break, and nothing to talk about work at that time. I think Shafi's point is right and should be implemented to everyone.
Laila, any thoughts?
Emotions are highly active and competitive. But for me, I choose the best solutions is micro movement breaks, which is taking short 5-minute breaks every day. It could be considered the most crucial and impactful starting point. This solution immediately address the negative physical effects of prolonged sitting. Right away. That is my opinion.
Your internet kind of shut down. Repeat what you were just saying.
For me, the resolution are highly effective and complement each other. But the best solution is I choose micro movement breaks, which is taking short 5-minute movement breaks every hour. It could be considered the most crucial and impactful starting point. This solution immediately address the negative physical effects of prolonged sitting, which many people experience daily.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty much this is the end of our discussion. That is all. Thank you.